If you are studying or want to study microbiology, then this video is for you. Hello and assalamu alaikum guys, I am Afsana. You are cordially welcome to my channel. In today's video lecture, I'll be talking about the basic concept of microbiology. Before explaining microbiology, let me first talk about the bigger term biology. Biology is the study of life and living organisms, from one-celled creatures to the most complex living organism of all, like the human being. That means biology includes both the macro and micro living things. If we see the types, for example, zoology, the science or branch of biology dealing with animals. Botany, the branch of biology that deals with the study of plants. And microbiology, the branch of biology that studies microorganisms or life too small to be seen with the naked eye. Now let me just explain microbiology broadly. Microbiology came from three Greek words: micros, which means small, bios, which means life, and logos, which means study. In short, microbiology is the study of microbes, which are defined as any living organism that is either a single cell called the unicellular, a cell cluster called the multicellular, or has no cells at all called the acellular. So what are these microbes? Well, microbes, also called microorganisms, are organisms that can be seen only with the aid of a microscope. Then what is a microscope? A microscope is a laboratory instrument that can be used to observe small objects that are too small to be seen by the naked eye. The microbes include eukaryotes such as fungi and protists, and prokaryotes such as bacteria and archaea. Viruses and prions, though not strictly classed as living organisms, are also studied in this field. Microscopic forms of life are present in vast numbers in nearly every environment, like soil, water, food, air, etc. Now let's talk about the history of microbiology. It was Antony van Leeuwenhoek, a Dutch draper whose hobby was lens grinding and making microscopes, who used homemade microscopes to discover the invisible world of microorganisms. Thus, he is called the father of microbiology. Before Van Leeuwenhoek's discovery of microorganisms in 1675, it had been a mystery why grapes could be turned into wine, milk into cheese, and why food would spoil. However, Van Leeuwenhoek didn't make the connection between these processes and microorganisms, but using a microscope, he did establish that there were forms of life that were not visible to the naked eye. On the other hand, Louis Pasteur was the first to demonstrate that infectious diseases are caused by microbes. This proved the concept of spontaneous generation, which is the idea that microbes could appear out of nothing or living organisms could develop from non-living materials. Developed the process of pasteurization as well as being its namesake, and developed some of the world's first vaccines. Thus, he is called the father of modern microbiology. There is much more to discuss, so we will explore the history in more detail in another video. So, microbiology essentially began with the development of microscope. So it's way too important to talk about the microscope. Microscope Microscopes use a visible light or beam of electrons and magnifying lenses to detect small objects like the bacteria that are not visible by the naked eye. There are two major types of microscope, such as the light or optical microscopy and the electron microscopy. The light microscope or optical microscope is a microscope that uses visible light and a system of lenses to magnify images. There are generally four types. First one is the bright field microscopy, second one is the dark field microscopy, third is the fluorescence microscopy, and the last is the phase contrast microscopy. Now the second one, the electron microscope. It uses a beam of electrons instead of visible light and their wave-like characteristics to magnify an object's image. There are generally two types. The first one is the transmission electron microscopy and the scanning microscopy. At my right side there is a Leeuwenhoek microscope and at my left side there is a modern microscope. You can see the differences here. Well, we will learn about the microscope broadly in a different video. Now comes the nature of microorganisms. Microorganisms are ubiquitous, means they are found almost everywhere as deep in the earth's crust, landscape, oceans, and inside the bodies of plants and animals. In a way, we can say that they are in us, on us, and around us. Most of the microorganisms are harmless or non pathogenic. Only a few microorganisms cause diseases to animals and plants. They are called pathogenic microorganisms. Again, some microorganisms are beneficial to us. Another important nature is that they reproduce rapidly. For example, under ideal conditions, individual E. coli cells can double every 20 minutes. Microbes and their activities are vitally important to virtually all processes on Earth. Microorganisms matter because they affect almost every aspect of our lives. One of the essential facts is only about 1% of the microorganisms present in a given environmental sample are culturable, and the number of bacterial cells and species on Earth is still not possible to be determined. Okay, now let's see the types of microorganisms. There are basically two types of microorganisms. One is the eukaryotic one and the other is the prokaryotic one. Eukaryote refers to any of the single-celled or multicellular organisms whose cell contains a distinct membrane-bound nucleus. Examples: fungi and protists. Prokaryote refers to any of the group of organisms primarily characterized by the lack of the true nucleus and other membrane-bound cell compartments. For example, the bacteria and archaea. On the contrary, we can't classify viruses either in prokaryotes or in eukaryotes. They are basically acellular and ultramicroscopic and can multiply only in living cells of animals, plants, or bacteria. So, now the nomenclature of microorganisms. Nomenclature refers to the naming of microorganisms. In 1735, Carolus Linnaeus established the nomenclature of organisms. According to Linnaeus, every organism gets its name by a binomial system. Binomial nomenclature is a binomial system of naming a species. A binomial name consists of two parts. One is the generic name or the genus name, and the specific name or a specific epithet, which is called the species name. It is often in a Latinized form. Both names are underlined separately while writing or italicized if typed. Additionally, microbes' specific names are descriptive, such as Staphylococcus aureus. Here, Staphylo means clustered, Cocci means spherical, and aureus means the gold-colored colonies. Okay, so after knowing all the details, you may want to know where we can utilize the knowledge of microbiology. For this, we need to know the fields in microbiology. Basically, the field of microbiology can be divided into two branches. Those are pure and applied microbiology. First one is the pure microbiology. Pure microbiology is the most fundamental branch in which organisms themselves are studied as the subject itself on a deeper or theoretical level. Some examples include bacteriology, the study of bacteria; phycology, the study of algae; mycology, the study of fungi; virology, the study of viruses; parasitology, the study of parasites; protozoology, the study of protozoa; nematology, the study of nematodes; immunology, the study of immune system that protects the body from pathogens; microbial cytology, the study of microscopic and submicroscopic details of microorganisms; microbial physiology, the study of how the microbial cell functions biochemically and also includes the study of microbial growth, microbial metabolism, and microbial cell structure. Microbial ecology, the relationship between microorganisms and their environment. Molecular microbiology, the study of the molecular principles of the physiological processes in microorganisms. And last one is the microbial genetics, the study of how genes are organized and regulated in microbes in relation to their cellular functions closely related to the field of molecular biology. Now, the second one is the applied microbiology. Applied microbiology is a branch that deals with application of microorganisms in the field of science for the production of human beneficial products such as medicines, antibiotics, vaccines, enzymes, biotechnological engineered products, and also in food technology as fermentation products. Some examples include medical microbiology, the study of the pathogenic microbes and the role of microbes in human illness; pharmaceutical microbiology, the study of microorganisms that are related to the production of antibiotics, enzymes, vitamins, vaccines, and other pharmaceutical products and that cause pharmaceutical contamination and spoil. Food and dairy microbiology, prevent microbial spoilage of food and transmission of foodborne diseases such as salmonellosis. Here, microorganisms are used to make food such as cheeses, yogurts, pickles, beer, etc. Agricultural microbiology, impact of microorganisms on agriculture, combat plant diseases that attack important food crops. Environmental microbiology, the study of the function and diversity of microbes in their natural environments. Water microbiology or aquatic microbiology, the study of those microorganisms that are found in water. Industrial microbiology, using microorganisms to make industrial products such as antibiotics, vaccines, steroids, alcohols, and other solvents like vitamins, amino acids, enzymes, wastewater treatment, etc. Microbial biotechnology, the manipulation of microorganisms at the genetic and molecular level to generate useful products. And the last one is the genetic engineering. Engineered microorganisms used to make hormones, antibiotics, vaccines, and other products. Now, last but not the least, the importance of microbiology. Microorganisms are beneficial in producing oxygen, decomposing organic material, providing nutrients for plants, and maintaining human health. If we see, for example, algae produces the highest levels of oxygen in the planet, more than 75%, and can capture carbon dioxide. Microbes are responsible for the cycling of carbon, nitrogen, phosphorus, which is the geochemical cycles, and maintaining ecological balance on Earth. They are found in association with plants in symbiotic relationships, maintain soil fertility, and may also be used to clean up the environment of toxic compounds, which is called the bioremediation. Microorganisms have been used to produce food from brewing and winemaking through cheese production and bread making to manufacture of soy sauce. In fact, we are dependent on microbes to help us digest our food. Heterotrophic microorganisms play an important role in decomposing organic matter and cycling of nutrients in aquatic systems. Lastly, microorganisms can cause both benefit and harm to our human and animal cells. Through medical microbiology, microbiologists can identify, isolate, diagnose, and prevent pathogenic microorganisms. They also can engineer beneficial microorganisms to produce antimicrobial drugs. If you liked my video, then give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to. Thank you so much.